Hi, thank you for watching NVIDIA blog. Today from Torremolinos in Spain. Why am I one of the best donors? Now I know many of you will find this title very strange and maybe narcissistic and you know, call it whatever you want, but it is not a lie. It is in fact a truth. I am one of the best donors because first of all, the first thing that I was thinking about when I started to become a donor was that I wanted to do the best for the kids. And I mean that I wanted to be as open as possible. And I think, and I thought, and I still think, that that's very good. Means that I care about the emotions of the recipients and the children. The feelings that they will have in the future. Because I could also decide to donate anonymously or semi-anonymously only, because anonymous is not any more possible in the Netherlands. I would not be super dedicated to being a donor. I would of course choose that safe option of only helping in the clinic and then have a quiet life. But I decided that I wanted to be really a donor, to be open to other people. That makes me a good donor. So then another thing that made me a very good donor is that I am really dedicated to spend time and effort into helping people, because I really cared about helping the people that, for example, would not be accepted at a clinic for different reasons, or couldn't afford a clinic, or will be too long on a waiting list. Maybe they will see their whole dream evaporate, because at a certain age it's barely impossible to even get pregnant. And I cared about these people. I cared about the people that didn't have the funds, the time, and also the people that were not feeling comfortable with not knowing a lot about the donor, only like some basic information like hair color and eye color. And I cared about these people. And I took the risk of, well, you see what happened. I took a risk. Because there's always people that think differently after a while, or abuse you in a way. And that makes me a very good donor, because I was willing to have that risk. I could also not do it at all, and then have a quiet life, have not all the time in my life for myself, my own desires, but I decided to give up a big portion of my life, 50,000 hours of my life, into helping other people. That makes me a very good donor. I cared about these people, and I care less about my own life. So yeah, quite good in my opinion. Then of course there's these things like I didn't charge any money for it. I think that's not moral to charge money for a new life. I only charged basic costs, like travel expenses or maybe a hotel room to stay in. And I think it makes me a very good donor, one of the best. Because there's also donors out there that will charge a big sum of money. And I don't agree with that for myself, but it's their business. I'm not going to judge any of them. It's their business and of the recipients, because some people are willing to give money for this. But in my opinion, it's not as good as just asking for the expenses only. So in my opinion, makes me one of the best donors. And I say, of course, one of the best, because I don't say I am the best, but one of the best, like in the top class of donors. Then of course, I think that I'm one of the best donors, because I'm not only helping as a donor, but also like totally fine. I don't harass these people or anything, I don't stalk them, nothing. Over the 17 years that I've been a donor, nobody has ever said something like that. I'll always be respectful. I have always been respectful, so yeah, I think that makes me also a very good donor. Now another thing why I think that I'm a very good donor is that I never ever looked for any media attention, or never used like anything of being a donor, the exceptionality of being a donor, to gain any following or attention. I've been vlogging now for 11 years and I've never ever thought about it, about being a donor, until recently, because I have to explain myself. Even then I'm still very modest about it. I'm just telling my story, just debunking things, but I'm not over sensationalizing anything. So that makes me a very good donor, because there's also donors out there that really use their help as a donor to get a lot of attention, and that's their thing. I don't judge that, but in my opinion it's better to not do that. I want to stay humble, not you know, use it for any other thing than just helping families. And yeah, that makes me a very good donor, one of the best donors. Now another thing that made me a very good donor is that I never discriminated with the people that I've helped. I've helped people of all races, all cultures. 10% of my children are like biracial. I also help people from another religion than myself, for example Muslim people. Help people from all kinds of educational level, and also didn't discriminate on the appearances that they had. Like some are very good looking, maybe others are not as good looking, but for me that's not important. I really looked at, could they be like great parents? Do they have what it takes to be a very good loving parent? Yeah, I think that's the sign that I'm a very good donor. I was not looking to help a certain kind of people that maybe some people will deem as like, oh, higher status or more attractive or anything of that. No, I wanted to help anybody that I thought that would be a very good parent, and was you know, grateful for my help. And that makes me, in my opinion, a very, very good donor, one of the best donors. So yeah, I think that I'm one of the best donors, and it's unfortunate that there's such a crappy film out there, and yeah, you know, leeching off the idea that I'm not a very good donor. But this will be set straight very quickly, so I don't have a worry about that. Anyway, that was for today from Torremolinos, Spain. I say thank you for watching. See you next time.